Why is this surprising? Why has it taken so long for Calpers to get out of hedge funds?
Right. It was 2014 when the largest pension system in the US decided to dump hedge funds altogether. Now we're in June 2019, and we're still waiting for that full separation to take effect. A lot of it goes back to a decent chunk of cash that still is being managed. Calpers' cash that's still being managed by Chatham Asset Management, and they're waiting for that to come back. The reason we're paying attention is Calpers is one of the biggest pension fund players out there. It is the biggest pension fund player in the US. So their experience in trying to get out of hedge funds is in some ways instructive to the kind of experience other pension funds might face when they try and carry out this move.
How much of this delay, potentially, Sri, lies at the feet of Calpers itself?
Caroline, that's a great question, because the returns on this Chatham fund for Calpers hasn't been great. Calpers has already copped a bit of criticism for the kind of investments that have been made by this fund. For instance, the investment they made in American media, the longtime owner of tabloids like the National Enquirer. At that point, they said, we have no say over the investments. In fact, they've been saying, we've been encouraging the fund to sell for several years, but at the same time, they say they're not distressed sellers. They don't want to accept a haircut. So as a result, we end up waiting, and we remain in this limbo. And when we go back to 2014, when they first made the announcement, they said, we'll be out of hedge funds within a year. It hasn't quite panned out that way.
No, not exactly. What can you tell us about Chatham Asset Management? It's not one of the biggest hedge funds out there, but I'm curious to know more about the background here.
Right. Founded by Anthony Melchiori, a former Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs trader, went across the Hudson, set up shop in Chatham, New Jersey. The hedge fund's now about $4 billion in size, and a lot of this is on the back of big money managers like pension funds from California and New Jersey and other places, and they have grown quite a bit in size. They've been known to make some of the contrarian bets that have surprised others, especially in some sort of old-line legacy media names like McClatchy and American media, for instance. There was a little bit of scrutiny that has been cast on them. There's more of a spotlight on them ever since Americans' media's association with the entire Trump campaign came to light, the Jeff Bezos situation. Yes. So that has led people to ask questions about Chatham, because it is the money behind American media.
Talking more broadly, Sri, why are pension funds such as Calpers actually exiting their hedge fund holdings anyway?
Where's the X factor anymore? They hope that they'll be able to outperform markets, but they're not doing that like they used to. High fees, too much complexity, at least those are the complaints we hear. Remember, hedge funds used to be this sort of mythical, magical source of supersized returns. That does not seem to be the case anymore. It went from next to nothing to almost $3 trillion in assets in about 2 decades on the back of money from pension funds and other managers of big asset pools. When that starts to reverse, we'll have to see that there could be cause of concern in the industry. Is it happening quite yet? Not in the way we should be concerned about, but at least it has started to stagnate. We're not seeing the growth that we had been seeing for a good part of the last 20 years.